And they said, you need to paint. And I said, no, I don't paint. I take pictures. And they said, just try it. Here's the canvas. Just do something.
Hi, Julia.
Hey, Cornisha.
How's it going?
It's going good. Thanks so much for this opportunity.
Well, thanks for accepting it and submitting. We're really excited to really talk to you all and more of a personal interaction than usual. So it's been fun for me.
I bet it has been.
Yeah. So tell me about your career. You have photography and you have painting. How did you get involved in all that?
I have been the family photographer for my family. I don't know, I'm 60 years old, probably for 40 plus years. You will not find me in a lot of family photos. But I really love hiking and biking and being outdoors. So I began to take more nature photography, and I've traveled to different countries, and each time I go, I like to take pictures as well.
Nice. How did you what is the word? How did you transition from photography to painting?
Well, it kind of came in the back door because I have a very good friend, Stella Burton. She's from Guatemala, and she has a good friend named Rosalind Steinberg. And so, Stella, okay, well, Stella introduced me to Rosalind, and because I got to know both of these ladies last summer, they both paint. And I really started painting out of just wanting a relationship with these two ladies.
You are not trained professionally, so you've just been trying out whatever you think would be nice, and it's worked for you, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so far it has been.
You said that you started as your family photographer, so are you in an artistic family, or were you the only one that had that creative bone?
My father was an artist and a photographer on the side. In fact, he worked 7 days a week, 12 hours a day until I was 10 years old. And so at night he would come on, and he would, with all of us kids in our PJs, he'd position us in places in the house, and he'd take all these kind of film noir poses of us doing crazy things, holding umbrellas in the house, getting upside down. And so he was very creative. And then I have a sister, an older sister, that is a very talented artist. In fact, I've got one of her paintings, pen and inks, hanging right in front of me, and another one behind me. But my mother, so funny, she was tone deaf and she couldn't draw a stick figure. So she was always in awe. But, she could definitely cook pot roast and fried chicken. And so, she earned her keep.
The culinary arts is where she thrives. Yeah.
That's exactly right. And being a great mom.
Yeah. How was it trying to teach yourself how to be a visual artist? I mean, photography, it takes some training too. Was it hard to teach yourself how to capture moments versus how to paint moments, or?
Absolutely, absolutely. To me, I am incredibly outside my comfort zone, sitting at an easel with a canvas. It's so much easier for me to be behind a camera lens and seeing beautiful things around me and capturing those, and looking for lighting. I love lighting in an image, so I want to be able to paint so that it reflects light.
Did Rosalind and your other friend give you any tips, or did they just kind of throw you out there and hope you could swim?
Well, they did. They first threw me out there, and they would not give me tips. They would not tell me what to do. They said, paint from your heart. That's all they said, is paint from your heart. Now, this second to last painting I did from Iceland, I got incredibly overwhelmed at all the buildings in the painting. And Rosalind did come, and I painted in her studio, and she came in there, and I was on her sofa crying. And I said, I can't do this. It's too many buildings. And she gave me one sentence that totally liberated me to finish the painting. She said, Julia, just paint shapes. She's like, if you see something that looks like this, paint that, and paint the color that you see. And that just completely liberated me. I just thought, okay, I can paint a shape rather than a building. And so that helped me finish that painting.
Has that way of thinking bled into your photography?
Well, I've always been a person who liked perspectives in photography. I like angles, and I love architecture. So shapes, I guess, are important to me. People told me, since I never had any photography training, no one taught me how to use a camera. They said you just have a natural eye. They said you have a natural eye to be able to know where to position and what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So
Your perspective definitely was emphasized with the bank uh, painting that you had, because that
yeah,
perspective was like it was straight on, but it was kind of lower to where you felt like it was overpowering you, even though you weren't even there. So I
yeah.
found that interesting.
And it's interesting you said that, because in that town, Punta Arenas is a town that was incredibly popular before the Panama Canal was built. And so all the ships would go around Cape Horn down the end of South America to get through this town. So all the buildings are from the 1800s, and they're huge. And talk about being intimidated in a blank canvas. I was intimidated by the architecture, and I would just look up and go, like being in New York City for the
Yeah.
first time. You just kind of walk around jaw dropping. I thought that was interesting with the angle with that bank. That's kind of how I felt.
Your paintings, you say that you're inspired by nature. The submissions that you gave me were all pretty much either outdoors or some sort of architecture. Is that usually what your preference is, or do you do portraits?
I guess what I like to paint is what someone finds in their own life, something precious to them or important to them. And so I've been painting from my heart, things that I find beautiful and I find precious. When I was in Kenya a few years ago, I took some photographs of some children in Kibera, which is the largest slum in the world. So my first portrait, hopefully, is going to be of a little girl that I took a picture of.
What's your process from start to finish? Do you sketch it out with a certain medium and then move into painting, or have you tried out other mediums?
I have not tried out other mediums. I've just started with acrylics, and I want to try to sketch and draw and learn to draw. I was doing pencil portraits of like my father, and I actually did one of Rosalind Carter. She's married to Jimmy Carter. And I was on a plane. I sat next to one of her Secret Service people. And I mentioned to him, I said, hey, I did this portrait of Rosalind Carter when I was in high school. It's just a pencil portrait. And he said, oh, she would love it. Miss Carter loves that kind of thing. And so when I got back to the States, I mailed it to her, and I got a beautiful letter from her.
It's crazy how airplane conversations can lead to so many other relationships or opportunities.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So are you working on any new projects? So you're in the work in progress stage?
Well, I've got actually a friend of mine just commissioned me for a photograph I took in Patagonia of the Torres del Paine. And so I haven't started it yet. The canvas is just sitting right here to my left, but I'm going to get started on it this weekend.
Nice. When they commission you, do they say, hey, I was here and it made me feel this way, can you convey that? Or do they just send you an image and say, I need this exact replication just on canvas?
They always tell me, they said, this means something to me. It communicates to me, like with this, for instance, this painting is a path to the Torres. And so she said, it talks about an adventure, it talks about a pathway, it talks about a journey in life. And she said, I always want to have an image in front of me that says, keep moving, keep going. There's another corner you haven't been to yet.
Well, thank you for sharing your work and telling us about your travels and your journey as an artist. It was very insightful.
Well, thank you for this opportunity. I'm incredibly humbled. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Well, take care and keep sanity in this weird time. I know as a traveler, it's probably like driving you crazy that you can't just get up and leave.
That's right. That's right. Gotta stay stuck here, but that means I stay stuck and I'm in front of an easel and I'm going to travel through my canvas.
Yep, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, take care, and we'll
Okay.
talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you.